And again, yes, my name is Bill Fandrich. I'm the Executive Vice President of Operations and Technology with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. I'll talk a little bit in a minute about that, but I'm also the Chief Information Officer for the company. Really what I want to cover today is the journey of how you address an industry that's highly regulated, highly complex, under a lot of scrutiny constantly, in an 85-plus-year-old company, very complex, many legacy assets, and how you transform itself and take the true advantages of what generative AI offers to the market. But I think if there's anything, as we talk today, if I highlight, it's the enablers. Generative AI alone does not transform your organization. It's the things, and especially for an organization like us, a mature company, it takes a lot to actually make the impact and the value. And I'm going to highlight that around the teams, the partnership. For example, the company we use is right here in Massachusetts, Forum Systems, that has helped partner building new skills and companies, looking at how to transform the company. So a little bit about Blue Cross Michigan. And we are one of the top 10th largest health plans in the country, servicing over 5 million members. And those would be citizens of Michigan, but they also could be citizens of or employees of companies that operate in Michigan but are out of state. It's about 5+ million members, but we're part of a blue system. All independent entities, 34 different companies held together through an association that allows any individual in this country, and we cover over 150 million, irregardless of what state or where you are, to get access to care. And we support that as well. And the nice thing about Michigan, we're a very large company, $36 billion. But a big chunk of that is important to understand. It isn't really, most of that money comes through, or cost comes through third parties. We are less than 10% of that total cost structure. Everything else is through contracts and service relations to enable it, which makes our business extremely complex. We also have large amounts of volumes, which I'll cover here in a second. Some of the stats here, just as I mentioned, we are a company, less than 10% of that $36 billion is actually our cost. We service and administer plans for government business, Medicare, Medicaid, but also private insurance and individuals. And a big part of our world has dramatically shifted over the decades. At one point, it was access to care, who you're contracting, the rate, and can you pay a claim right, and can you service effectively. Now we look at the whole person and the needs of them, the mental health, the physical geographical areas, social determinants of needs, housing, shelter, food access, et cetera. And what we're being asked to do, we become an information company. Can we provide the information wherever you are in the healthcare system to help you navigate it, but also help you understand what your needs are and where to get those services? As part of our company, or this journey AI, as I mentioned, we are a very large company, very complex. We have several subsidiaries. One of the subsidiaries is a company called NASCO, and that reports to me. It actually services 20, so we offer services to other Blues plans in the industry. And in this case, it services actually 20 million members. So as our partnership and our innovation, we're not looking at how to transform ourselves, but we're looking at how to offer that stuff to other Blues plans and actually have that work in process. But just to tell you the key aspects of what generative AI and how we've evolved it, we've been on this transformation and on this journey of building the new future state healthcare ecosystem, very built on the fabric of technology, data, integration, information flowing, servicing differently in our models, all built together. So when we started on the AI, we had a foundation that we could plug in with our partners from Forum System, this new AI engine that's bolted in. And what's important to understand in our industry is the regulations. We're highly regulated. Over 700 federal and state. The things around our data, the access to it, are controlled. The amount of time we have to take for everyone who calls us, and we get 5 million, to ensure that the person on the other end is the person who's a member and can have access to the information, is not insignificant. Huge fines, huge penalties, huge challenges. AI is a big enabler to that. Through this quantum sim enabled, we've already created 3 products that we're starting to deploy internally, but we've also offering it to other Blue systems. One is a security. Mentioned before the importance of security. We cannot just release our data to an engine and have it learn. That's our fabric, and lots of our data is also unstructured data. Every individual in our company, we have to account for what they access, what they use, how they use it, etc. The traditional security tools out there do not meet that need. It has to be integrated with role-based asset. The guardrails are what we can use. We've created with Forum Systems this security solution that allows us to actually link and leverage publicly available solutions, LLMs, etc., without releasing our data to it. But also build models in our environment with mounds and mounds of data unique to our environment, our members, and build those models without exposing them externally. Critical to that. The second thing, and we did a big chunk, it takes 3 minutes now, for example, to be able to attest that that's an individual. We've been able to cut that down through biometrics instantly. We know when you call us, if we have all the information, it is indeed you, and through your voice and through other things. Also related to that is our contracts. Most of our investment, such as I mentioned before, is through third parties. Those contracts have, in my case alone in IT, 500 million, 30 billion in contracts. Very complex, constantly changing. We're accountable for anything that vendor does or third party. Contracts GPT allows us to bring that in and provide intelligence to look at opportunities to leverage it, synergizing, upgrades, new technology, regulatory changes. Already to date in 3 months, 10 million in savings. And the last is benefits. Benefits is a very complex issue. 90% of the data is not in structured format, comes from a wide variety of sources. We've been able to, through this technology, bring all that unstructured data, mix it, so that we can have instantaneous information based on that unique needs of the individual, where to get care, how to get care, what it's covered for, what it's going to cost. And that's a huge part of how we're going to evolve our model over time. And we've seen factors where historically to bring that documents in could cost us $700,000. We've reduced that to $50,000 and we do it ourselves, no third parties. A big part of our future. And lastly, I mentioned earlier, the ecosystem. This is the technology side. We also have a digital transformation ecosystem of how we change the organization and new ways of working. But AI doesn't work and no value unless you can deal with the data, the quality, the integrity, but also how you can integrate it, operationalize it, and deploy it into all the channels and engagement instruments we have in our organization today. So appreciate the opportunity to explain to you what's happening in healthcare, and thank you.